Al Baldus. Our next inductee is like many racers who have sacrificed a great deal to participate in the sport we're here to celebrate tonight. Al Baldus got his start in 1956 doing everything from learning how to work on the cars and drive them to building to owning them. To support his family, Al worked hard at his full-time job and as a firefighter, which left many long evenings to devote to the race car. Being a firefighter meant many weekends where he had to work instead of being at the racetrack. No doubt Al Baldus would have captured more championships had he been able to race every weekend. And after winning the Sportsmanship Award in 1959 at Riverside Stadium, things really took off as Al finished 5th in points at Riverside before 2 straight points championship in 1962 and 63. Al also raced at the Old Lakeside Speedway, Olympic Stadium, State Fair Speedway, Savannah, and Holmes Road Speedway. And he drove a wide variety of cars from jalopies to modifieds and from sportsmans to supers in a 5-state area of Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, Illinois, and Oklahoma. Owner, driver, builder, mechanic, racer, friends, make welcome our next member of the C.A.R.B Hall of Fame, Al Baldus. Congratulations. Congratulations, boy! This is a big honor. But you started a long time ago, didn't you?
Yes, sir. 1960, 56, 56.
56. That's the year I was born. That just kind of tells everything. Turn around here, just point or straight so everybody can see you. There's one story I was reading about where you were fighting for a win and got right down to the wire, and the race was over, but you were nowhere to be found. But they found you up in the grandstands. How'd that happen?
Well, we was coming out of turn 4, 3 abreast. I was on the outside. Mackie Tarwater was in the middle, and I can't remember who was on the inside. He started the whole thing. But he turned right and hit Mackie, and Mackie turned right and hit me. And Mackie went, part of his car went clear through the wall. Mine just hit the wall and stopped, but there's a big hole there, so the cars was still coming, so I just jumped out of the car, stepped through the hole, and sat down in the grandstand.
Watch the rest of the races, right?
And next thing I knew, they was hollering, "Where's he at? Where's he at?" You know.
And that was a thrilling finish, but you know, everybody else up in the grandstand didn't have the seat you had when that happened.
I had a front seat. Yeah.
You had a good one. You call yourself a great mechanic, but you also drove. You think you were a better mechanic than a driver? Or were you a better driver than mechanic?
Well, I'm not sure. I had some good mechanics working for me. And in fact, somebody else owned the car part of the time. So I just drove and done a lot of the fabrication work for them while they done the motor work, and then I drove it. So name's Harvey Fouts owned the car. Pete Smith was a mechanic, and Lyle Stafford was a mechanic, and I had a lot of pit crew help too. So you don't do it by yourself.
Who was your toughest competitor out there? Who was the toughest to beat?
The fastest car there.
Whoever that was.
Yeah. It changes daily.
Now, you saw a lot of changes down through the years too. Talk about the cars that were out there back in the late 50s. What were you running back then?
I started out in a '39 Ford Coupe, excuse me, and went to Riverside with it the first time, and had a roll bar in it, and still the full front seat when they made us kick the windshield out when we got there, because it was still in it. But that was a car owned by Ernie Neal. He's the one that got me started. But it was a '39 Ford Coupe stock, and I didn't do very good with it.
But back in those days, you really had to be a good fabricator. I mean, you just can't go buy stuff off the shelf like you can today.
Correct. I used to go to the salvage yard to buy my tires because they didn't run Hoosiers or Diamonds or anything like that back then, you know. So you just get an old tire and re-groove it and go from there.
Tires lasted a lot longer back then?
No, it was rotten to start with.
At the salvage yard it would be, yeah. What are some of the other memories? You were at this a long time.
Oh, got a lot of upside down memories and so forth. But
what was the biggest wreck you were involved in?
The biggest one? Well, they're all big, I think.
But you were able to crawl out.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I never got hurt in a car. The biggest wreck was today, Fairgrounds, 1973. Run and a half mile, and I got too high going down front straightaway and went over the fence, over the wall, a little bitty highway railing. Ended up down in a mile ditch down there, unconscious, of course. The car tore completely up. I woke up, they was had a porta power trying to bend the roll bars off of me so I could get out of it, you know. That just bruised and sore.
Let's talk about the good times. Your favorite victory, do you have one?
Yeah, I think Lakeside 1962 championship was as good as any of them, I believe. I was leading enough in points so I didn't have to run the feature for the final one, so didn't have to worry about it.
The most help that you had, let's talk about the people that's helped you out throughout your career.
The most help would be probably Harvey Fouts, because he owned a car and put the money in it, not me, you know. He worked out of my shop, but he owned a car and done the motor work, and I done the fabrication work and drove it.
Final thoughts about what it means to be the newest member of the C.A.R.B Hall of Fame?
Well, it's a great pleasure, I think, and proud to be inducted. Surprised when they come and told me they was even nominating me, you know, because I hadn't raced for several years. But it's a great deal, I think. I'm proud to be a member.
You got family here tonight?
Yes. Number 2 table. That's my wife with a pretty silver hair.
She been with you throughout it.
What'd she say? The one fellow on the left, Derek Canepa, and Dee, then Jason, Josh, Laura, Lori, my daughter, and Randy, my son-in-law.
How about that, folks? Stand up, everybody. There you go. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts? I just want to thank everybody for being here and not throwing anything at me.
Al Baldus, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. Step right down here, and John Backlund will present the Hall of Fame award. Al Baldus.